The Pythagorean Theorem, Lesson 5.5. The standard is 8G7 and 8EE2. The objective is to use the Pythagorean Theorem. The essential question is, how can algebraic concepts be applied to geometry? The Pythagorean Theorem only works for right triangles. So if I look at my triangle, side A and side B are my legs. Side A is a smaller leg, side B is a medium leg. Across from my right angle is always the hypotenuse, and it's represented by the letter C. And it's also always the longest side. Now the formula for the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So if I have two sides of a right triangle, I can always find the third side. Example 1. Use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side length for the triangle. So the first thing I'm going to do is start off by labeling my triangle. Across from the right angle is always a hypotenuse, which is the letter C. The other two sides are A and B. So the smaller side, which is 18, is A, and 24 is B. So the formula for the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So A is 18 squared, B is 24 squared, and that equals c squared. So 18 squared is 324, 24 squared is 576, and that will equal c squared. So when I add 324 and 576, that gives me 900. I'm going to bring down c squared. So the last thing I have to do is take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 900 is 30. And the square root of c squared is c. So my missing side is 30 yards. Example 2. Use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side length for the triangle. So first I'm going to start off by labeling my triangle. Across from the right angle is the hypotenuse, and we're going to label that C. The other two sides are my legs. I notice that the shorter leg is 3 miles, so that's going to be side A. The missing side we will label side B. So I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem, and the formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now I'm going to plug my numbers in. So a is going to be 3 squared plus b squared, we don't know what that is yet, and then c is going to be 8 squared. So 3 squared is 9. I'm going to bring down b squared. 8 squared is 64. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. This will cancel out. Bring down b squared. 64 minus 9 is 55. Now I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of b squared is b. The square root of 55 is approximately 7.4. So the missing side is 7.4 miles. Example 3. Use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side length for the triangle. So first I'm going to start off by labeling my triangle. Across from the right angle is the hypotenuse, and that's letter C. The other two sides are my legs. I notice that the missing side is the shorter leg, so that's side A. 17 centimeters is side B. So now I'm going to go ahead and write down my formula for the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug my numbers in. A squared, I don't know what that is, so I'm going to bring it down. B is 17 squared. C is 20 squared. So I'm going to bring down a squared. 17 squared is 289. 20 squared is 400. I'm going to subtract 289 from both sides. A squared will come down. This will cancel out. 400 minus 289 is 111. Now I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of a squared is just a. The square root of 111 is approximately 10.5. So the missing side is 10.5 centimeters. Example 4. Determine whether the triangle with sides of given lengths is a right triangle. So first I'm going to start off by labeling my sides. I know that the smallest side is side A and the longest side is side C. So 36 is going to be side A because it's the smallest side, and 60 is going to be side C because it's the longest side. So that means 48 is going to be side B. So I'm going to write down my Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now I'm going to plug in my numbers. So a squared is going to be 36 squared. B squared is going to be 48 squared. And c squared is going to be 60 squared. So 36 squared becomes 1,296. 48 squared is 2,304. And 60 squared is going to be 3,600. So I'm going to add 1,296 and 2,304. That's going to give me 3,600. And I'm going to bring down 3,600. They equal each other. So that means yes, it's a right triangle. Example 5. Determine whether the triangle with sides of given lengths is a right triangle. The first thing I'm going to do is label my side lengths. I know that the shortest side is side A and the longest side is side C. So since 4 feet is the shortest, that's going to be side A, and 7 feet is the longest, that's going to be side C. That means 5 feet is going to be side B. So now I'm going to write the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my numbers into the formula. So a squared is going to be 4 squared. B squared is going to be 5 squared. And c squared is going to be 7 squared. So 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. And 7 squared is 49. So now I'm going to go ahead and add 16 and 25, and that gives me 41. And then I'm going to bring down 49. I notice that 41 does not equal 49. Therefore, no, this is not a right triangle.